Hi, I'm Renarta Clanton Moyd, the Chief Communications Officer of the Cumberland County Schools and your host of Get Connected. During this monthly show, we highlight numerous educational topics that face today's student, educator, and parent in the Cumberland County Schools. Now, there was a time in education when in order to learn, students had to be in class, but now that isn't the case. Find out how technology is bringing education to students no matter where they are on this edition of Get Connected.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
We appreciate you joining us for this edition of Get Connected. We're looking at how technology is bringing education to students through teleconferencing in the Cumberland County Schools. And joining us to discuss this effort are Dr. James Fields, who is the Executive Director of Secondary Education, and Mr. Kevin Coleman, the Executive Director of Technology. Welcome.
Thank you.
Renarta.
Thanks for having us.
This is great having you all here. And you know what, Jane, it seems like you're here with me like every other show, right?
I do love being with you, Renarta.
I just was thinking about offering you a co-host.
I think I'll pass.
And Kevin, it's been a couple of years since you've been with us, hasn't it?
I think I've been here 4 times over the years, but it's been a while.
Okay, all right. So I've got some pros in the house
Yeah.
today. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I know both of you all are working heavily with our teleconferencing. When we were in school, and I'm a bit older than you, but would you ever had imagined that we would have something like teleconferencing
No,
No,
available?
no, that was definitely not on the horizon when I was in school.
Me either.
Yeah.
We went to school around the same
Yeah.
time, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so revolutionary, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Are there other cities, counties that are doing, or county school systems across the country that are doing the same thing?
Well, this is actually a movement in education to try to offer students a wide variety of courses that they can take. And really distance learning helps do that. No longer do you have to be in the same room with a teacher. You could be halfway across the world and take a class from a teacher anywhere. So it's all over the world, and companies have used it for a lot of years, businesses, and it's made its way into education. It's helped kind of give some real opportunities for students they wouldn't have otherwise.
How long have we had teleconferencing here in the Cumberland County Schools?
This is our 5th year of the program.
Wow. And is it taking off, or is it kind of slow, or how's it going?
It's grown each year. We started really with one lab and one teacher teaching one set of students. We have now grown to we have 16 labs throughout our schools. We have about 370, I think.
Yes.
About 370 students taking classes now. It kind of ranges right down and starting to go into middle school. So it's kind of started small and has grown over the years.
Now, you know what I often wonder when I hear that a student is doing, the teleconferencing thing, why would a student want to be involved with this type of effort?
Well, I think it depends on what courses they wish to take, what their passion and interest are. And teleconferencing oftentimes offers students electives that would otherwise not be offered at their high school. So that's the biggest reason why I think students choose to take these classes. For example, if they want to major in science, or they love, their passion is science, they might want to take AP Physics. Most of our high schools don't offer AP Physics, but we offer that on teleconferencing. So it offers students the opportunity to follow their their passion and take classes that truly interest them.
Okay. Do you ever have students who you have to be, of course, enrolled, but do you ever have students who are maybe those that prefer to be at home and just take it that way as opposed to actually being in the school? Or is that the way this works?
No, it's actually a period within their schedule.
Okay.
The students, there's a facilitator at each of the high schools, and the students report to whether it's the computer lab or the media center is where most of the schools set up their lab, and the students are given a laptop from Cumberland County Schools, and they take the class during the regular school day.
That just blows my mind. Just absolutely blows my mind. Do you find that students are enriched, that they feel full? I mean, because I would think that having that personal contact is something that you would want.
When we first started the program, we were very concerned about that. We were very cautious and really wanted to make sure that students felt a part of a group. We were pleasantly surprised. Really, if you take a look at the way students learn today, is much different from when we were all in school.
Oh, yeah.
Students now are used to being online and used to interacting with other students that are not in the same physical room that they're in. So them getting online, they see each other's face just as though they were in a regular classroom. It's just on a computer screen. They still submit work through digital means just as they would if they were working on a computer in a classroom, but they interact with each other through various programs that they have. That teachers are very creative on helping students kind of get to know each other. And believe it or not, they're very tight with each other. Even though they go to different schools, they form a real bond in these classes very quickly, just as quickly as if they were in the same school, I believe.
Really?
Sometimes it's even easier because we cap the class size at 20 per class, so that it is manageable for the teacher, and so that you can have a small set of students so that you can build those relationships.
And then where does is the teacher at his or her school, or do they go to a teleconferencing center at ERC, or how does that work?
We started with, at our Educational Resource Center, we created one lab and teachers would drive in and teach there. And we quickly outgrew that space because teachers were having to drive from their home schools. And it was really kind of interfering with their regular teaching duties at their school. So we started placing labs in our high schools. Now we're proud that every high school that we have in Cumberland County has a teaching lab in it. So if a teacher is at Douglas Byrd High School and they're teaching classes, regular classes during the day, they can go walk down the hall to the teaching lab and teach a teleconferencing class at Douglas Byrd, for instance, to all of the other students in Cumberland County. So it is at their individual schools, but we also have some at central locations as well, kind of a mixture.
And how do you go about selecting teachers to be a part of the program?
We actually reach out to teachers to gauge interest to see who might be willing to teach a class during their planning period. These teachers, we have 15 right now teaching teleconferencing classes, one of which is a retired teacher. She was the first teacher that Kevin mentioned that started teaching in teleconferencing in 2012. And she teaches 4 classes. She's retired and came back and teaches 4 classes with us. But everyone else teaches during their planning period. So they teach 3 classes at their home school, and then during their planning period, they are paid to teach students from across the county with teleconferencing. So that's how we hire teachers. We go to some of the very best and say, would you be interested in providing this opportunity for students across the district to take a class that they wouldn't otherwise get? And we have, some outstanding teachers that were willing to do that.
That's really one of the strengths, is that we're able to get the best of what we've got and offer it. And these are really some of our strongest teachers, and they do a phenomenal job. Really, you can, if you spend any time in any of these classes, virtually online, you see that they've got a great command of the curriculum they're teaching, but also the students.
Most definitely.
Now, you know what, some of our viewers may be watching this and say, well, if the student and the teacher don't have that physical contact, then what is our education system going to? I mean, what would you say about those types of thoughts or comments?
I think that you don't have to physically be in the same room to have that type of experience, and the technology is just stellar. And I mean, you really feel like you're in the room with the people. I mean, you can see everything that's going on. The conversation that we're having right here, right now, same thing happens. It's just done, through a computer. So the students have said that they almost, many of them go into it with anxiety and angst, because they're not quite sure what they're getting themselves into. But when they leave, they almost like it better because they get more one-on-one attention from the instructor.
Okay, now how can you get one-on-one attention?
Because we've capped the class sizes at 20, and so that's a very small number considering if you go into classrooms now, sometimes they're in excess of 30 plus students in each classroom. So there is more opportunity for that individualized attention. And like Kevin stated earlier, they use platforms like Google Classroom and Edmodo to communicate with students outside of class, just like they would if they were in a traditional classroom setting.
Another important thing to realize too, when they're teaching, they can see we have TVs set up. So they're 55-inch TVs, and one TV has all their faces on it. The other TV has their computer screens on it.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me get it in my mind. One.
Think of Brady Bunch.
Okay, okay. You would say that.
Hollywood Squares.
Okay, Hollywood Squares,
Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. Okay, go right ahead.
They're up there.
Uh-huh.
On the other screen, their computer screens are up there. The teacher has full control over their computer screen. So if Renarta is a student in my class, I see Renarta at whatever high school you're at, and then I also see what you're doing on your computer screen. So that if you're not doing what you need to be doing, or you need to be redirected, or you need some extra help, I can see it. And you'll see teachers go over and type a message to the student. Hey, take a look at number 3 again. You might need to dig a little deeper. Send. You get that while I'm teaching. It's using tools of today to teach the child of today.
Yeah, that would have to be the child of today. Because, I mean, this is like totally like, and I'm there at ERC. I see what's going on, but I'm going to have to come in and sit in the class.
I would love that. Would love that.
I'm going to definitely have to do that. Wow. You know what? Let's take a break, okay? My mind needs to absorb all this, okay? All right, don't go anywhere. Stick around for more Get Connected.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay, wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, have a good time. Seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Get Connected. Now we're talking about Cumberland County Schools teleconferencing effort and how it's just impacting our students. Now, once again, joining us are Dr. Jane Fields, who is the Executive Director of Secondary Education in the Cumberland County Schools, and Mr. Kevin Coleman, the Executive Director of Technology. Now that I've gotten my mind right and together, and we've kind of gone over the concept, that's just phenomenal. Do you ever have times when there are technical issues with the technology?
Everything that we've had, just like with any technology, things will happen. Since we've started the program, there's been no major issues, but when minor issues come up, we have a system in place where teachers know that if they have any issues with equipment, all they have to do is send a message to a group that we have, an email. And that email goes to 8 different people, and those 8 different people in my department.
In technology.
In technology, we have the best technology team.
Yes, we do.
In the world.
Yes,
they are. Well, no, they are. The people that handle the issues every day are just phenomenal, and they stop what they're doing and they fix it.
They are very customer friendly.
We could not do it without
Oh
them.
yes, oh yes.
It's important for us to going into this to understand if an instructor is not in the same building as although there are facilitators in those buildings that take care of the students there, but if an instructor is not in the same building, that they can't. That we have to make it a priority to eliminate all technical issues at all costs. So we take that very seriously.
That's good. That's good. Now, you know what, something else that we kind of talked about during the break, if a child is unable to attend a class for some reason, there are archived classes, correct?
Yes.
So all classes that are taken through teleconferencing are archived, and there is a video recording. The minute that the class is over and you hit end on the class, it then archives that video into a portal. All students and their parents have access to that portal. So that means if I'm a student and I'm sick today, but I don't want to miss my AP chemistry class because I don't want to fall behind, all I have to do is wait till the class is over, log into the system, and I can see every minute of that class for the day. That's really good if you're sick and you're out, or you've got to be away and you're out, but it's also really good if you need to review for a test, or if you're getting ready for an SAT or ACT, or really if teachers want to go back and review their own instruction to make sure, see how they can go and make their instruction better. And finally, another powerful piece is for parents. I don't know about you, but I may not be as sharp on my AP calculus as I used to be.
Oh, and even when I was taking it, I wasn't that sharp on it, okay?
So how would I help my child if
Right.
if I don't know the curriculum? Well, if I'm a parent and I'm an involved parent, I can log in and I can see exactly what my student heard during that day so I can help them at home.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, now, okay, we talked about AP calculus. We talked about physics. What are some of the other courses that are offered through teleconferencing?
We offer a wide range of classes, a lot of advanced placement courses. In the area of social studies, we offer AP European History, AP Human Geography, AP Psychology, AP World History. Math, we stick with the AP Statistics and AP Calculus. And we offer the physics as the only science class because we have to make sure that we can adequately fulfill the lab component. Next year we are going to branch out and try and offer AP Earth and Environmental. So we're excited about that. We also serve a lot in the area of world languages. That's an area that sometimes gets cut in schools because of allocation issues. And so we offer Spanish 3, Spanish 4, AP Spanish, Chinese 1 and 2. Wow. And next year we're offering Italian 1 and 2. So we're really excited about that.
Expanding.
So those are just some of the offerings.
That's good. Now, with all of this going on for the student, I would think that there would be no discipline issues. You're smiling, Jane. So are you now, Kevin.
Well,
I know kids, young people will be young people.
Right.
But when you all have a discipline issue, how do you handle that with the child not being, how does the teacher handle that with the child not being there to touch, reach out?
Every group of students has a facilitator there at the school. the school assigns somebody to be in charge of those students. So they're not just left on their own to fend for themselves.
Okay.
Some of them, like Dr. Fields said, might sit in the media center, and a media specialist or a media assistant may stay there with them, or they might be in the guidance department. There might be guidance counselors there that can oversee them. I mean, you kind of see them throughout the school. I've seen students sit in the principal's office and take class because that was a quiet place and the principal was out during that time. You can take it really anywhere in the building, but there's always an assigned person there. There's a clear line of communication between that facilitator and the instructor. So if the instructor needs to redirect a student, basically they do it verbally, and if that doesn't work, they can simply send a message to the facilitator at the school, and then just as though it was a regular classroom, they would handle the issues there.
Well, that's good. I mean, as a parent, go right ahead, Jen.
We have a handbook that his department works with our department. Kim Nash prepares it, and so there are instructions and how-to for the facilitator and for the teacher. So if it's discipline or the slightest technology issue, they know where to go to get the support that they need. So
that is awesome. Now I realize that you all probably, because we've had teleconferencing around for these 5 or 6 years, have probably become experts to some degree and have had to go out and speak to different groups about, what we're doing here in Cumberland County. What are some of the questions, what are some of the thoughts that are on other people's minds about what we're doing here?
Well, we have two staff members, Chris Young and Adam Solomon, that are technical experts in the area. And really, when it comes to any kind of technical issues, they really run with the ball with that. Dr. Fields and I, and her team, she mentioned Kim Nash, we a lot of times handle the educational side. So a lot of times we'll do joint meetings with people, and they'll come in and they'll ask, how do we go about where do we start? How do we start? Who do we need to contact? Where would you buy this stuff? And how do you make the technical side of it work? And like I said, our technical experts, we've done a lot of trial and error. In 5 years, it took us a lot of figuring things out, trying something, it not working, and us learning from our mistake. And that's, over the course of time. So we've got a lot of people that have come in and really picked our brain about how we do that. And I can't say enough about the way our curriculum side of the house has taken the ball and run with it. They train the teachers. We help them feel comfortable. We make sure we take care of their technical issues, but then we also make sure they're comfortable with the platform that they're teaching. And when other teachers come from other places and see that, they can just tell. So a lot of times teachers collaborate with other teachers and just find best practices.
it's a beautiful partnership.
Really?
And I'll tell you, Renarta, we have recently shared this initiative with other districts within our region across the state, and we are putting it out there that we would like to offer these educational opportunities to students in other counties as well.
Really?
So right now we have a couple of counties that have expressed some interest. So I think about the opportunities that it is for the child, but also for our children in Cumberland County to be able to connect with students across our region of the state. So we're hoping that that is something that grows.
That's good. And when you talk about that growth, I guess I just think of expansion for the whole program. I mean, where are we going with this effort?
Well, it started out originally so that we could ensure equitable course offerings throughout the district, and then we say, okay, well, let's add in some CTE, career and technical education classes. So next year we're offering accounting. So just really trying to meet, we seek feedback from counselors and principals as to what classes they would like to offer in their school but can't. So as long as they keep telling us that there is a need, we're going to keep adding. And the curriculum specialist, Carmen Villalobos, with world languages, I need to have the Spanish for native speakers courses, because typically you might have 4 or 5 students that would benefit from that in a school, and that's not enough to offer a section of it. But across the district, we could have 20 students easily that could benefit from taking that class. So we're going to keep seeking feedback from the stakeholders, and what they tell us they need, we'll do our best to work with technology to deliver.
That was really 5 years ago how it started. There was one parent that came and said, really, it's started with one parent that said, my daughter needs to go, you know, our daughter's dream is to go to a certain school, and she needs a certain number of foreign languages, and her home school doesn't offer that because not enough students qualify for that at the school she was at. What are you going to do? And I think it really hit us hard. And we said, well, wow, if that one parent is advocating for their child, there's a lot of other parents out there that are not calling, but in the same boat. So that equitable access was really the seed that started it growing, and it's really grown where being able to offer things that kids would not be able to take Italian 1 and 2 if there's 3 kids in the school interested in taking it, you know, but now they can.
That's awesome. What are some of the responses, feedback you all are getting from young people, from our students about this?
They love it.
Really?
They love it.
What are they saying that they love so much about it?
You know, I think that the flexibility, you know, it does require them to be responsible learners, and you know, many of them, you know, crave that responsibility and appreciate it, and the individualized attention. Renarta, a class of 20 or fewer students, you know, you're really having that opportunity to network with your classmates, your peers, as well as the teachers. So they really like it.
I will say too, one thing that we try to do in Cumberland County Schools is we have to model, our duty is to get these students ready to go out into the world and be productive, and the world is moving in this direction. Higher ed is now a lot of blended courses where you no longer do you have to go face-to-face class. So really, I think the students, the feedback I get from students is I feel like I'm in a college class. I'm taking high school courses, getting ready for college, but it is preparing them to go to the next level. And they like that, they respond to that, and I think they're doing very well with it.
They are.
That's good. Well, you all are doing excellent with it in your efforts. We appreciate it wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
And you know what, I just want to, before we head out, just really last thoughts regarding teleconferencing.
Well, if you have a child or you are a young person watching this and are interested in potentially taking some of these classes, we would like for you to contact your guidance counselor at your school. They have a comprehensive list of these courses, and we would love for more and more young people to begin taking these classes. Okay. Kevin?
I would say that the realization that education does look different than it used to look, and that's a good thing. We're growing with the times, and this is one of the areas that we're growing into. So if you're apprehensive as a student or you're apprehensive as a parent, really to contact those guys, or even to shadow a student in a class. I mean,
call us.
Yes,
Yes,
so a parent and student can
Yes.
go and visit a class and watch.
Yes.
online. You know, we'll let you log in. You online, you can see what it's all about. We want to make people comfortable with this before they enter in, so they'd be more apt to enter into it and help us give the students what they need.
Right, and you hear me, I said they go visit. They don't have to visit, just log in.
Just log in.
Hey, just log in, all right. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you for
I
having us.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, appreciate it.
All right. Well, on behalf of the Cumberland County School System, we want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of our show and for giving us a chance to help you get connected. Until next time.